Why is there so much speculation around Taylor Swift's sexuality? The pop star has been followed by a long-running rumor that she is secretly gay, and fans now think that they have definitive proof that this is true. So in this video, we'll be counting down the top 10 reasons Swifties believe that Taylor Swift might be gay. Number 10, the Karlie Kloss rumors. Taylor and Karlie have had a rumored romantic relationship for ages, almost as long as fans have been speculating about Taylor's sexuality. They became friends back in 2013 when they met backstage at the Victoria's Secret fashion show. They were named Clayla back in 2014 because they were constantly being photographed together and seemed to be inseparable. But when Taylor didn't attend Karlie's wedding in 2018 and Karlie didn't go to her birthday party either, people suspected that something was up. They stopped being photographed together after that year, which made it seem like they had a falling out. More recently though, with Folklore coming out, fans began digging into the true meaning behind her songs. The tracks Illicit Affairs, 7 and Betty were believed to be a message to fans that maybe had some hidden feelings. Fans took to Twitter at the time, with one user writing, "Taylor Swift and Karlie Kloss have been dating for 7 years. You can't convince me otherwise." And this is just more proof. Swifties lost their minds even more after Karlie posted a nearly identical photo to Taylor's album cover, writing, "My happy place." There are even entire websites dedicated to these theories about the two stars. So what do you guys think? Could there have been something more to this relationship? Number 9, the Lavender Theory. We know that Lavender Haze is the title of the first track on Midnights, and since lavender is frequently used as a symbol of the queer community, and it doesn't help that for years there's been speculation that Taylor is either gay or bisexual and has had secret relationships with women. Not only that, but some people were convinced that at least 2 and possibly more songs on the album are about Karlie Kloss. In the song Maroon, she sings, "How did we end up on the floor anyway, you say? Your roommate's cheap screw tops rosé." Taylor and Karlie were reportedly roommates at one point. There was also speculation that the song Question could be about her as well, as one fan theorized that it definitely feels pretty straightforward that she's singing about kissing a girl. Then in 2014, TMZ reported that Taylor and Karlie may or may not have kissed at a concert, although that was never fully confirmed. When speaking about the inspiration behind the song, she said, "When you're in the lavender haze, you'll do anything to stay there and not let people bring you down off of that cloud. I think that a lot of people have to deal with this now, not just like public figures, because we live in the era of social media, and if the world finds out you're in love with somebody, they're going to weigh in on it." Number 8, friendship with Diana Agron. These two met in the early 2010s while Diana was starring in Glee. They became fast friends and spent a large amount of time together. Diana was mentioned in Taylor's music, and she even threw her the occasional party. Eventually, the rumors about the nature of their relationship started circulating everywhere. Although this was just a fan-led theory, a lot of other people started to notice how close they were getting. At one point, Jimmy Kimmel even addressed the rumors, but they always insisted that they were just friends. This went on for a couple of years until they stopped spending so much time together, either because they just grew apart or because there was some kind of rift. Then when Taylor released the song Wonderland, their connection was a little harder to deny. The track features a ton of references to Alice in Wonderland, and Taylor uses the line "falling down the rabbit hole" as a metaphor for falling in love. At another point in the song, she sings, "Haven't you heard what becomes of curious minds? And too in love to think straight, we both went mad." What's really interesting is that Diana has a Wonderland quote tattooed on her ribcage, which has since been removed. So fans really held onto that as proof of their relationship. Number 7, Welcome to New York. This is the opening track of 1989, and it marked Taylor's official pivot to pop music. She said the album was largely inspired by the celebration of being unique in New York City, and she talked about the freedom she felt after moving there. In the second verse, she sings, "Everyone here was someone else before, and you can want who you want, boys and boys and girls and girls." When asked specifically about why she wrote that line, Taylor said, "I wrote the song kind of following when gay marriage became legal in New York. So many of my friends had to be kind of scrutinized for who they were in love with from the time they came out." She went on to say that she didn't want to make a big deal about it because she doesn't think it should be a big deal with who you love. Fans have since theorized that she might have been referring to herself when she spoke about the freedom to be queer. So some of them think that she was speaking from personal experience. The state of New York legalized same-sex marriage in June of 2011, and she moved to the city 3 years later in March of 2014. She then went on to release 1989 in October of that year. Number 6, LGBTQ Support. Back in 2019, Taylor graced the cover of Vogue's September issue, and she was interviewed by a writer named Abby Aguirre, who was also on the set of her music video for You Need to Calm Down. They met at Taylor's compound in New York and discussed her political consciousness, particularly on LGBTQ issues. The singer talked about the light bulb moment that led her to be outspoken in her support of the queer community. And she explained that it happened while she was going for a drive. Apparently she was in the car with her friend Hodrick Hall, who then asked her what she would do if her son was gay. She said this question took her aback because the fact that he even had to ask her was very shocking, and it made her realize that she had not made her position clear enough or loud enough. In the past, she has been criticized for not speaking up on political issues, particularly during the 2016 presidential election. That's part of the reason why she decided to shift to advocacy. In that same Vogue interview, she said, "Rights are being stripped from basically everyone who isn't a straight white cisgender male. I didn't realize until recently that I could advocate for a community that I'm not a part of." Number 5, You Need to Calm Down. The release of the 2018 song was a massive deal because it was the first time she fully and unmistakably showed her support for the community through music. The music video is filled with celebrity cameos from queer icons like Laverne Cox, RuPaul, and Hayley Kiyoko. They were having a blast in a rainbow dream-like trailer park. The song takes an equality-first stance and criticizes homophobia. In the video, there are several anti-LGBTQ protesters carrying signs saying things like "being queer is a sin." At the beginning, Taylor is seen at home in a trailer which is decorated in bubblegum pink. There's a quick cut to a Cher quote from a 1996 interview, which is all about rejecting certain social norms and viewing men as a luxury and not a necessity. In the interview, Cher reflected on her mother's desire for her to settle down and marry a rich man. In response, she said, "Mom, I am a rich man." So in the song, Taylor is also referencing a prominent LGBTQ advocacy group when she says, "Why are you mad when you could be glad?" Number 4, Queer Imagery. The music video for You Need to Calm Down also shows us a queer wedding between Jesse Tyler Ferguson and his real-life husband Justin Makita. The two of them got the chance to reenact their wedding kiss in the video, which gets officiated by Sierra. In another clip from the video, Ellen DeGeneres can be seen inside one of the trailers getting a tattoo on her arm from Adam Lambert. Then we see Tan France from Queer Eye walking past a group of homophobic protesters while he's drinking tea straight from the pot. Later on, Taylor is seen sitting down to a literal tea party with the rest of the Queer Eye gang as she sings, "You just need to take several seats." The video also features a lineup of former Drag Race contestants and a famous Beyonce impersonator all participating in a pop queen pageant. All of the queens are dressed up as different celebrities like Ariana Grande, Lady Gaga, Adele, Cardi B, Taylor, and Katy Perry. RuPaul then appears on stage, and instead of giving the pageant crown to just one of the contestants, he tosses it up in the air. So it implies that all of the pop queens are meant to share the crown. Number 3, Friendship with Katy Perry. Although there has been a lot less speculation around the nature of this relationship, fans have constantly been hearing about these two together for years. What started out as a close friendship eventually turned into a legendary feud somewhere around 2013. That same year, rumors circulated that Katy Perry was trying to sabotage Taylor's tour by stealing some of her backup dancers. In September, Taylor gave an explosive interview calling her out. She said, "For years, I was never sure if we were friends or not. She would come up to me at award shows and say something and walk away. And I would think, are we friends, or did she just give me the harshest insult of my life?" She went on to say, "It wasn't even about a guy, it had to do with business. She basically tried to sabotage an entire arena tour. So now I have to avoid her. It's awkward and I don't like it." Then when Taylor released her song Bad Blood, the drama just kept escalating. But thankfully they were able to bury the hatchet somewhere around 2017 or 2018, and they've been on good terms ever since. In fact, Katy Perry made an appearance in the music video for You Need to Calm Down, and the rest was history. Number 2, Dress. During every show on the Reputation tour, Taylor dedicated the song Dress to Louis Fuller, who was a pioneer of modern dance and an openly queer woman in the early 1900s. According to Vogue, she lived with her girlfriend from 1905 until her death. But what's really interesting about Dress is that it's one of Taylor's most explicit songs. It's really about intimacy. So it's interesting that she represented that concept with a dress, which is a widely recognized symbol of femininity. In one of the lines, she sings, "Only bought this dress so you could take it off." And then in another line, she says, "I don't want you like a best friend," which is representative of a friends to lovers arc. It's this part of the song that has fans believing she was making a reference to her friendship with Karlie Kloss. At another point in the track, she says, "Everyone thinks that they know us, but they know nothing about us," which didn't really seem to match the tone of her relationship with Joe Alwyn. At the time that the album was released, the public hardly knew any information about their dynamic, so it's more likely that the track describes her experience with a female friend. And coming in at number 1, Question. This song contains several references to the 1989 era. In the chorus, Taylor asks several questions, like did you ever have someone kiss you in a crowded room? And every single one of your friends was making fun of you. But 15 seconds later, they were clapping too. This line kind of sounds like it was coming from personal experience, like a time she was kissed in a crowded room and then mocked for it. In this interpretation of the song, her consistent use of feminine pronouns is also really interesting. If Taylor was going to be publicly involved with a woman, the stakes for acceptance would be much higher, which is possibly why she's tried putting it in the song like that. In the second verse, she explicitly criticizes politics and gender roles for corrupting relationships. She also blames uncertainty for getting in the way of an out and proud relationship. Of course, the title and central theme of Question might also be connected to the Q in LGBTQ, which stands for both queer and questioning. This is a term used to describe people who are in the process of discovery and exploration about their sexual orientation, or their gender identity or expression. So she might be hinting that that's where she fits into the community, in the Q. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is this proof that Taylor Swift is gay or not? And I'll catch you guys in the next video.